Is homosexuality destroying America, and are gays to blame for 9/11? Hi guys, it's Josiah here. Thank you for tuning in to episode 3 of Hosanna Talk with me, Josiah. Today's topic is one of the most dangerous, subversive, and sickening topics in America today, homosexuality. Now, before I get too far today, I do want to share a story from my past because I firsthand have seen the devil's red hands at work in the form of homosexuality. Now, growing up, my brother was a very normal Christian. He was heavily involved in Bible study in my youth group. He was involved in charities that sent Bibles to famine victims in Africa and also helped starving heterosexual famine victims as well. That all changed around 12 years old, though. He began watching a television show called Glee. And because of that, he became very interested in dance and choreography and even involved in veganism. And shortly after that, he was brainwashed into thinking that he was gay. Immediately once we heard this, we knew that Satan was at work, so we began to take things very, very seriously. We grounded him. We took away his easy bake oven, his sewing machine, anything that may have been propagating this myth in his head that he was a homosexual that had been planted there by the devil, obviously. And we enrolled him into Marcus Bachman's conversion clinic. It's a clinic in Minnesota we sent him to, and they have a 95% conversion rate to heterosexuality if you exclude suicides. They're very successful. Now, while at this counseling center, some Christian doctors there were able to run some blood tests on him, and the results were very disturbing. They found that the homosexuality had spread throughout most of his body, and we had just caught it too late. The doctor said that he would probably be comatose for the rest of his life and would probably never develop into anything beyond a flamboyant vegetable. Because of this experience, it has really taught me how dangerous homosexuality can be and the impact it can have on our lives as Christians. Now, while combating this scourge, I've done a lot of research, and we've found that over the last 50 years, America has seen a very large surge in people choosing to be gay, and this is a very disturbing trend. Now, we have a lot of people helping to fight this disease, and until we find a cure, it's very important that we stand up for these patriots, and one of them, maybe about a year ago or so. Her name is Kim Davis, and she's from Kentucky, and she is a personal hero of mine. I've added her to my wall of heroes in my room, and she's got a big poster right above my bed, and I'm a big fan of hers. And her name is Kim Davis. You know, she's kind of like the Rosa Parks of our generation, almost like the Martin Luther King, except what she did was far more influential and will go down in history as a much bigger deal and much better for America as a whole. Now, another person who is a hero of mine that's been very helpful in fighting this war on homosexuality is a senator from South Carolina named Lindsey Graham. And I actually used to work for a group of followers that followed him, and we were big fans of him. And we were all white, so we called ourselves the Graham Crackers for Lindsey Graham, and it was just a lot of fun. But I actually worked on his campaign too because he was just such a great inspiration. And Lindsey is so motivated to win, and he knows he needs the best, the youngest, and the fittest people working for him, so he would mandate that all of his staffers be either male and under the age of 25 or have a BMI of 25 or lower, and that's because you need to be out there and have lots of energy in order to fight for these things. Now, a lot of people ask, okay, we know what we can do now to fight this sin of homosexuality, but what can we do to prevent it, or what can we do with our children to make sure that they don't fall into this trap? And you know, a personal story from my past is I had an amazing youth pastor growing up who was a big inspiration to me, and he actually was an ex-homosexual who went through a lot of counseling and was cured of the sin, and he was very instrumental in teaching us how to avoid homosexuality and how to fight against it. He was just a great guy. He was a lot of fun. He would organize a lot of sleepovers and shampoo fights and stuff with him, and we really enjoyed all that. And he'd organize a lot of sleepovers and shampoo fights and stuff with him, and we really enjoyed all that. And
he'd organize a lot of sleepover and shampoo fights and stuff. Sleepover and shampoo fights and stuff. Shampoo fights and stuff.
He taught us a lot of defenses against homosexuality, both physical and spiritual, and one thing that he really was insistent upon was that we maintain a very high level of physical fitness in order to fight off homosexuals in case there was an attack physically on us by them, because they are predators. And, so one of the things he would do, we do a lot of workouts with him, and he would, make sure that our muscles were developing properly. And another thing he taught us was that you need to put oil on sometimes, and he would enjoy when we would do that because it's creating another barrier between you and the homosexuals, between your skin, and just another defense. Makes you very slippery so they can't grab onto you, so to speak. And, he's very helpful. He would videotape us during these sessions and then review them at home, and that way we could work on our form best, he said, to help fight these homosexuals. Now, a lot of young Christians in my youth group will ask, well, do you have any simple reminders to help to fight off homosexuality or to avoid it? And I do, and I like to make up simple acronyms. You've always heard of WWJD. Well, I've come up with one, and it's very easy, rolls right off the tongue. It's called Afut Sakum Hayot Gunth, and that basically stands for always fight on the side of Christianity and not homosexuality if you want to go to heaven. And it's very easy to remember, and it's always good if you're tested in your faith by the Lord. Thanks so much for watching this week's episode on the dangers of homosexuality and the sins that come with that. And I just want to leave you with one thought, and that is that you should really never take your family for granted, and always hug your family members, because you never know when Satan will sneak up behind you with his strong, muscular hands, and despite your cries, implant that seed of homosexuality deep inside you. You really have to watch out for that, and continue to pray and go to church and really resist these temptations. So thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate it, and I hope you learned a lot about the dangers of these things and how you can avoid them.